The introduction to national accounting. Now, in this case, it is very simple. We just start off with a very simple model, all right? We assume this economy produces 100 kilograms of wheat annually, and no other things is produced in this economy. Okay? And the price of the wheat is $1 per kilogram. Now the question is, what is the total value of the wheat produced in this economy? How much will it be? Very simple question. How much will it be? You produce 100 kilograms, every unit, every kg costs basically $1. So what is the total value of the wheat that you have produced in the economy? $100, that's right. But the question now is, when you get the money, $100, you sold away your goods, you get the money. Where does the money go to? Some of the monies will go to the workers in the form of the wages. Some of it will go to the landlord in the form of a rent. Some of it will go to pay for the capital in the production of the wheat if you are the firm. And some of it will go to the profit of the producers, which is say $10. So if you look at all this sum here, 60 plus 10 plus 20 plus 10, that will add up to 100. So that is basically what we know as the circular flow of income. The circular flow of income basically tells you this. If you look at any household, any firm, right, could be first, all right? Give me 5 minutes. Based on the circular flow of income, you look at a household, you look at the firms. What would they be producing for them is the goods and services, which is your NNP, which is the net national product. So for the households, you notice, they will help the firms to produce the goods. And the firms will give them income. How? They will give this as a form of a capital cost if the household is the seller of the capital. And they will pay you wages if you're working for the firms. And they will pay you the money in terms of a profit if the household are shareholders of the firms. And they'll pay the rental to the household, and the household is now the landlords from the firms' viewpoint. So you notice, these people will once again take this money, and then they will transfer back to the firms, buying the output from them. So what you notice is that whatever output that you produce in the economy, it must generate the same level of income that will be distributed out to the economy. All right? This is a very, very important equation. You must use this all the time. Alright, this is like the most important thing, the whole equation, that we will have to see this all the time. All done. Then if you are done, then we go back to the terminals. If you look at the formulas of the net national product, if there's only one firm in the economy, the value added by this firm is the difference between the sales and the purchase from other firms. So what does it mean here? The value added, you have to take the sales minus the way the purchases from the firm. Let's say that you basically are the bakers. Let's say you open a confectionery shop. And the economy, let's say, produces $100 worth of wheat, which you bought, and basically transform into bread. This bread itself can bring in $150. What is value added? You take your sales, 150, you must minus away the wheat, which is 100. So that will tell you that the value added will be 50. That is something like the profit of the firm. You realize that? Why we cannot include the 100? Because here, if you never minus away the purchase from the other firms that produces the wheat, he will also report saying that he actually sold out 100 units. So you notice that if you never minus this out, there will be double accounting. Agree? You get what I mean? I have reached my max. You can hear, right? Later it will fade off, and after that, you just see me, but nothing comes. Alright, so let's say this is the wheat produced. Produce. This is what he must do. You imagine wow, today is not 6 o'clock yet. If you look at the sales of the wheat produced, it's $100. And let's say they use the wheat to make into bread and sold all the bread for $150. If they never minus away the purchases, which is $100, and just show a value added of 50, what happens? He will report 150, he report 100. You notice? Actually, the total amount in the economy is only 150. But now, based on the calculation, if he didn't minus this off and report 150, it will become 250. So what will happen? You notice there is one additional $100 that is reported twice. You notice? If both of them just report their sales, 100, 150, that will be 250. But you notice in the economy, actually what is the true value that you have sold in the worth of goods in the market? 100 plus 50 only, it's 150. Where does $100 come from? It is because this guy reported 100, he gets to minus off, he also reported $100. So this becomes a double accounting. You learn in accounting, right? Whenever you do this, you must minus away, or else you will double account. Whether your suppliers, they must actually, when they are accountable for, when you bring in, you must deduct away from it, or else you will double account what your suppliers have reported. Alright? Now, when we look at GMP, here. GMP is the sum of the value added, which we will take the sum of the sales minus away the purchase from the firms. Okay? And when we look at the value added in this case, it will be taking the sum of the sales minus away the purchase from the firm, and this will basically be the value added in the economy, and it will go to the wages, interest, depreciation, as well as the profit. Now, when students come to depreciation, they are always very worried. They always ask, in accounting, how many types of depreciation method do you use? 2, right? The one in economics, we use one and the only one. Which method do we use? We use the straight line method. If it is the weighted average, I think that one is a bigger headache for you, right? Most of students will know. Okay, everyone do accounting. This is just in case you don't do accounting. What is the straight line method? If say your machine is worth 50,000, the lifespan of the machine is 10 years, if you want to find the depreciation yearly, you will just take the total worth of the machine divided by 10 years. Every year it will depreciate by $5,000. That is how we do the calculation. Alright? And that's why under your GMP, we'll take the sum of the wage plus interest plus depreciation plus the profits. NMP will be just taking the GMP minus away the sum of depreciation. Now some students ask me, equation important? Yes, for MCQ nowadays. Amos included it in. Sometimes he will just tell you this, 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 and this. And he asks you for GMP. You must know how to calculate. All right. That is what you will see here. For economy in equilibrium, their NFP must be equal to income. So all the goods sold in the market, or in this economy, they will be generated into income for the economy. And we look at the real income here. Real income and nominal income is different. Real income is nominal income divided by the price. So when you look at the price increasing, holding your nominal income constant, your real income will be falling in this case. All right. That's why in economics, the way we look at it, like accounting and banking, are different. For us, we are more interested to know the real income. Nominal is what you basically bring home. Real basically is how much can this income buy the goods in the market. are ready, take a look at the question on page 2 and think about the question. Alright. We all look at this question. When the government offers free or below market price education, the values of sales for these services is less than what the government spends to purchase from other firms in order to provide for these services. The value added of this government service is negative, therefore the existence of such service subtracts your NMP through what? Think. So I want you to look at this equation. Sales, free. So this will be 0 or very low. Purchases from the firms, if you have education, what you pay for? The wages of the teachers. The rental, electrical bills, computer labs. These are the purchases from the firms. Do you agree that the value added is negative? Equation point of view, yes. And here, does it mean that your NMP will be negative? Since the GMP is negative, you say that you will go through depreciation, and then there will also be negative. So of course. What's your answer? Now only one answer, either true or false. How many of you think that statement is true? No one. All of you think it's false? Why? Yes, answer is false. Why? Does education go through depreciation? You know what does education go through depreciation means? It means you go to school every day and then you become less and less clever. If you have such experience, don't go to school. Because of this. Another 30 minutes more. See how long can we stand, all right? Well, apparently it's now left with 5%. I must make sure I have this when I go to Hokkaido. I'm going to do presentations. Well, okay, all done. Okay. So this tells you don't take advantage, don't be take things for granted. Voice will not always follow you. All done. All right, now look at this. NFB will be used for consumption and investment. Okay, I cannot read, no voice. I will use writing. My only means to communicate. consumption here, this is important. Autonomous consumption, independent of income, is important because examiners, they usually use this. It means that if your income increase or decrease, this part here is not affected. But your marginal propensity to consume is actually the proportion of income that an individual will spend on consumption. Now, I put this triangle for you. I must explain to you how you use it. Amos will ask you this. Sometimes if you do consumption, he gives you income, you must find MPC. So this is the relationship that you see in this triangle here. If you want to find MPC, you cover this MPC. The formula is C over Y. If you want to find consumption, MPC times Y will give me consumption. If you want to find income, C divided by MPC will give you your income. So this is how you use the triangle. Whatever you want to find, you cover. That will give you the formula. That is a very useful one. Because better than you just remember these triangles, better than you remember all the different formulas. Because some students, they got the formula wrong in the exam, and then they got the wrong answer. And the best thing for Amos is that he will give you various answers, and all the answers you use different formulas, you will still find it. So you can never guess, unless you know what is the formulas to use. In terms of your consumption function, you will notice that this is your autonomous. So without income, you still must have this level of consumption. This is upward sloping because this is plus C1Y. Income and consumption positively related because as you get richer, you spend more. I will show you where he get the money to spend this amount here. Some people say, if you don't have income, how he buys C0? You will get it from somewhere. You will see in the equation later on. Alright? The last part that I want to touch on before I call your name. Please see this. Okay, we'll take a close look at MPC. Put it down somewhere. This is for your long question. And you must know this. Amos will not tell you. You are expected to know it for the exam. There are two types of individuals in the economy, the rich and the poor. If you look at how we write it, the only difference is that we put this as a superscript P, superscript R, represents the poor and the rich. But you notice their function will always be the same, because this is a general form of a consumption function. Now the question asks you, do you agree that C of P is greater than C of R? Do you agree? Which means that if you look at the marginal propensity to consume for the poor, is it always greater than marginal propensity of the rich? Do you agree? Some people say yes, some people say, I'm not very sure. Alright, you're not very sure. I show you this example. After that, you will be very sure with your answer. I will show you that the the consumption level for the rich and the poor is the same, $100 that they are spending in the economy. But if we look at the poor's income, 1,000, rich income, 10,000, you look at the proportion of their income that they are using for spending. What do you notice? Who is using more of their income for spending? It is the poor people. That's why the marginal propensity to consume for the poor is higher than the rich. That is what was in here. So do you agree that the FPC of the poor is higher than the rich? That is how you know. That's why rich people, they have savings. Poor people, they don't have. That is the reason. Okay. Now, see here, this part here. Look at this question. If alpha, proportion of the national income belongs to the poor, 1 minus alpha belongs to the rich, what happens to the total consumption when alpha increases? Which means that, are there more or less poor people? Alpha increase. More or less poor people? More poor people. Because alpha of the national income belongs to the poor. So when alpha increases, it means that there is more contribution by the poor. So this economy has more poor than the rich. In comparison, if my C1P is higher than my C1R, overall in the economy, do we expect the marginal propensity to consume increase or decrease? Increase or decrease? Increase. So your graph will look at that. Same level of income, but because your C1 increases, you notice that consumption will be higher. That's why your whole consumption line will pivot to the left about the point CO. Right? Agree? Alright. What is the purpose of the 45 degrees line? In macroeconomics, we always draw 45 degrees line, but there is a reason. You know what's the reason? Let me show you here. The 45 degrees line is always used as a guide for us. Because most our graphs are not drawn to scale. So some students ask me, projector to measure, no need, yes, draw. Of course, don't draw like that and come decide. Alright? Because I see my student, year 2 macro student, the line is so flat, they come 45. Obviously, anyone who knows max knows that this is less than 45. So please make it reasonable. Alright, if you look at this, what do you see? This is my angle here. This is opposite, this is adjacent. And I want to know what is this. So what formulas do I use? Tangent. Tangent 45 is what? You know from your O level maths. What's the answer? 1. So what does it tell you? In any case, anyone tells you that I'm on 45 degrees, if it tells you that the income here is 100, straight away you know that on the x-axis, on the y-axis, this will also be 100. This is a mirror image. Someone tell you, I'm here. Let's say this is here. 1,000. So what is the consumption here? 1,000 then. This is just C, right? That is the purpose of a 45 degrees. Alright? Now, let me show you where does the savings come in. This is the last one that we're going to do, savings. Now, and from the savings, you will know where does people get the CO from. To derive your savings function, we basically just need to use this. Ask yourself, for income, it is better off consumption and savings. That's how people spend their income, right? So if you want to know what is your savings, what do? You take income minus consumption. Agree? If you know that your income is Y, your consumption is now CO plus C1Y, you will see that your savings is equal to Y minus CO minus C1Y. Please remember to cover the bracket. If not, you will miss out on the sign. Okay? And if you try to put this is minus CO plus Y minus C1Y. You notice your savings. This is minus CO. If I factorize out my Y, what do I get? 1 minus C1. So what did you see there? You see this? Minus CO. No income, but you notice that your savings go below. Why? Because the person has no income, but he needs to consume the autonomous consumption. So what do? Dig into his savings. Very intuitive model. Right? You notice that if you want to consume this level here, CO, where does he get the money from? He get it from the savings. That's what a lot of people do, right? And they're out of job, what do? They use the savings to consume. This is what they do here. And look at this. What is this here? 1 minus C1. If you look at this, your MPS, which is the S over the Y, this is your 1 minus C1. This is known as your marginal propensity to save. So same definition, it will shows you what is the fraction or the proportion of the income that you will take out to save. But that will depend on how much you consume. If in this particular case, what you should notice is that there's one important conclusion that we should draw here. Right. If you look at MPS and MPC, you see a relationship between them, which is very important. What is the relationship? MPC is equals to C1. MPS is equals to 1 minus C1. Therefore, if you take MPC plus MPS, what do you notice? Yes. This is a very important equation. Why I say that it's important? Most of the time we need the MPC more than the MPS. But examiner can choose to tell you your MPS is 0.8, which means that he's also telling you that your MPC is 0.2. When someone gives you the MPS, this relationship always holds. You can always find out your MPC. MPS is 0.8, MPC will be 0.2. MPS 0.5, MPC will be 0.5. That is how you will understand this equation. And this equation is always true. Because 1 year, Amos gave the MPS, but in the calculation, you need C1, which is MPC. A lot of people stuck there because forgot this 1 year. If you remember a question, you can get full marks for the question. Alright, that's where a lot of people got stuck. That's why every now and then you will pop in and give you something like this as a surprise. All these things are your basic. They will suddenly appear in your long question, but they will not tell you when. In a long question, they can just randomly give you. They just tell you MPS, but what you need is MPC. You've got to figure it out yourself. Alright, so all these are your basic stuff here. So this is where we're going to stop. We're going to do the drawings in the next round when I